All right, so we're live. Welcome back to my podcast. Uh, my name is Tony from the DMV area. I am a first generation Nigerian, as you can tell by the title of this channel. And I actually just want to talk about something that I seem to come across all the time, and it's getting annoying, or it's always been annoying, but it's also kind of sad. It's just it's about the pessimism that I get from other Africans when it comes to anything that deals with solutions in Africa, specifically in West Africa. So um, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm always focused on business, and I'm focused on economics, solutions, improvement, personal development, and a heavy focus on West Africa because that's the culture that I know very well. And what tends to happen is when I talk about solutions that I've thought about probably for like a decade, and what I'm doing myself and what I'm preparing for and what I'm planning for, almost about every time it'll be Nigerians, Ghanaians, it doesn't matter, other Africans that will tell me they will just bring up all the negative things that are going on. Um, Hopefully, I'm not buffering. Hopefully, you all can hear me. But yeah, I don't know. I'm getting some alerts that this isn't working. But hopefully, you can hear me. But anyways, I'm always I'm always hearing from people how things are not going to work. The reason why Africa is always going to stay this way, or why nothing can get done, is because the politicians, the president, corruption, and they go on and on and on and on and on. And they talk as if I don't know these things. Maybe because I don't do a good enough job of explaining that everything I've been looking at solutions for consistently for pretty much just about 10 years. I don't just stop at surface level. I go deep and try to understand the psychology of how people think, what makes people do certain things, why things are the way they are. And out of all this time of just taking note and doing my research, I found out that a lot of the stuff that people say is just BS. It's just excuses. It's just a way to blame the white man. And yes, there's a lot of stuff that happened to a lot of these African nations, but to keep on saying that it's all outside influence. That's the only reason why a lot of these African countries are not developing. Is BS, and I see it because I also know of individuals that are actually being very successful in a lot of these African countries. There's African countries that are actually improving as well. Rwanda, for one, doing very well, and Botswana, I think, is one of the best ran countries in Africa. But when I come and have conversations with just West Africans about what the development in West Africa, a lot of them they don't know current news of what's actually going on in those places because they're here and they see news articles, and what they usually see is the negativity that goes on. Of course, the negative news is always going to be polarizing, but it doesn't mean that's the only thing that's happening. There's also a lot of positive things that are happening, and if you don't search for it, you're just not going to know. You're always going to see the negative. I search for it. I look for the good and the bad, so I could get a complete picture of what's actually going on in the region because I want to know, and then I share my experience specifically with my other channel, Yorubade. Yourubade on, you just put that in YouTube and you can search for it, but I focus on the whole complete picture, and it gets tiring when it's very difficult, even when it comes to networking, even when it comes to groups. It's difficult when you can't find other like-minded individuals that can stop blaming and stop complaining about what goes on in the countries and start talking about, okay, well, this is what I was thinking about. These are the exact steps, critical steps. I really put some thought into it, and this is why, hey, let's try this, or maybe we could try this. Or just conversations that center around, okay, how are we developing ourselves, or how is this person developing themselves, personal development when it comes to business, finance. Like it's almost impossible to find people that care about something other than just partying and having fun and jollof wars. Like it's like almost everyone I come across is just it's always about leisure. And then these will be the same people that talk about why West Africa, Africa, whatever is in the state that it's at. And it's just like, how do you expect anything to get better if you're always talking about having fun and playing around? Like, at what point do you grow up and say, okay, let's put the fun time away, let's get serious and let's start strategizing about how we can make these countries better. But you know what? A lot they don't think that way. And it gets frustrating because then it starts getting to a point where it's just like, I'm just by myself. Now I have met maybe one or two people that had some ideas, and were pretty good. Those conversations was excellent, but overwhelmingly, it's like everyone says the same thing. They repeat the same talking points. They talk as if I never looked at this stuff. The first thing that they always bring up is corruption. I'm like, okay, there's corruption here, even probably worse, because the corruption here affects other nations in the world. They don't think about that. When it talks about danger and crime and stuff like that, okay, have you ever actually compared the crime that happens in a lot of these African countries compared to what happens in America? I mean, it's all about relevancy. Like, they don't think about that either. When they tell me, oh yeah, you can't start this business because there's other. So in the case of Nigeria, there's other Nigerians that came over and they try to do some type of business, and then they got their money taken. All I gotta do is just ask a few questions, and then immediately it's a reason why those other Nigerians didn't work out. But for me, they say I can't do it. They tell me I can't do. And I'm talking about Nigerians, Ghanaians. Those are the most people I come across. Cameroon recently I came across that will say the same thing, and it's just like when you think of it, it's like they didn't even do their due diligence. They just thought that they can go in there and flash some money and then everything's gonna work out. Like where was their research period? How long were they actually understanding the culture? It's like they didn't do any of it, and then because they fail, oh well, it doesn't work. And in my head, I'm just thinking, and I tell them sometimes, you have other groups of people, Indians, Lebanese, or even know about Chinese, other Asians, that come into these African countries and they do well. And then we complain about it. Well, they complain about it. I don't complain about it. I actually don't hate on the people that are being successful. Hey, it's business. Business is open to anyone. And the better person that can create a better viable business is going to win. And more power to them. If you don't like it, then do something better. I mean, that's just kind of how I think. I'm tired of hearing this loser talk of you can't do anything because other people won't let you. Like, what the fuck kind of mentality is that? It's like, why do anything at all? If that's how you honestly feel, why do anything at all? What's the point? Because you're gonna fail anyway, right? There's no chance, right? I mean, this is the mentality that I come across all the time. It's just so frustrating. It's just to the point where it's just like, maybe I should just stop talking about what I want to do and my goals, and continue to observe people that seem to have some type of experience or some type of benefit, that I think there's a collaboration there. Because overwhelmingly, most Africans, everyone talks a good game. Everyone, oh, let's go back to Africa or whatever, and we want to do big things in real estate and all this other shit. And it's like they don't know what the fuck they talking about. They do no research. They have an uncle or family member that's there, and that's just it. And okay, well, it's gonna work out because I know them. It's just like, no. It's annoying when you hear your own people talk about why you can't do something, but they don't talk about the other immigrant groups that are doing something and are becoming millionaires. They don't say anything about them, but for me, they say, oh, I can't do shit. Oh, it's not gonna work. Meanwhile, you have immigrant groups that are thriving in West Africa right now due to business. And then when I bring that up, they'll try to make an excuse. Oh, well, they're working for the government and stuff like that. Okay, do you know them personally? Do you even know the communities? Do you ever ask these questions? I know they don't. They don't. They just assume, and it's just another excuse. And then here we go again. And it's just like, to me, that's what racism is. Saying other people can do something, but because of me, really, is the only difference is my skin color. I can't do it. and these are Africans that saying this, and it's just like it's shit gets old, and I'm just thinking, how can I move differently so I don't let this really start stressing me out. Um, I don't know. I'm just really disappointed. We've been brainwashed to really think that we are not capable of building and sustaining powerhouse economies and countries. Like but other people can do it. Other groups can do it, but we can't. And it's just, I mean, I refuse to believe that type of loser talk. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I want to ramble. I don't want to ramble, but that's just basically what's on my mind. So uh, I'm gonna try to put in some better videos, or more videos, more content that seems interesting to people. I'm trying to grow this channel, and I'm really gonna have this channel as just a platform to release my thoughts, and maybe someone else, maybe y'all have the same type of thoughts, but that's what's on my mind. But I'll